Welcome to the Raw Industry Podcast. I'm Olivia Thompson, a news reporter by day and entertainment interviewer and host by night. This is our baby. This is our very first episode. It's our pilot, so it means so much to us that you all are tuning in, and we have our special guest here as well. This is a platform that highlights all of the industries. I mean, from business to entertainment and everything in between. So we're going to be talking about a lot and covering some common issues and uncovering the raw and uncut in all those industries as well. A lot of our guests know a lot about it, and you're going to want to tune in so you don't miss anything. So this is episode 1, like I said, discussing entrepreneurship in the DFW. That's a big metro. As you know, we're going to start off with local listeners like every podcast does. And so you know that DFW is Dallas and Fort Worth, but our guest today is coming from maybe not so large beginnings. He was born in Clarksville, Tennessee, and raised in Muskegon, Michigan. I think I'm saying that right. He's a 26-year-old who is a #1 trusted private jeweler, a credit repairer, business consultant, brand strategist, a businessman if I've ever seen one. I mean, look at this suit, maybe not the tie. Well, I was going to say suit and tie, but I mean, super sharp, very put together, and is launching even more in the future. And so we're going to tap into some of that as well during our show today. But it just made perfect sense to start off with the one and the only Mr. Ace Pade.
Thanks for having me.
Warm welcomes to you. Thanks for coming on. How you feeling? Let's do a vibe check.
Yes, I'm feeling great.
You feel like you're in your living room?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Room, chilling, relax.
Okay,
That's
good.
A great intro, by the way.
Of course. I mean, you just gave me all the deets. I just threw it together. So, like I said, let's just kind of dive into it here. Do you want to do an icebreaker, or you feel comfortable with me?
Whatever. I'm going with the flow.
Going with the flow.
I'm going with the flow.
Okay. So let's do one icebreaker just to kind of break the ice here. We're going to do an easy one. 2 truths and a lie. We played that before. So this is going to give everybody a chance to get to know you and get to know me a little bit. You want to go first or me go first?
I do remember how the game goes, but you can start.
Okay. So if you don't know, this is 2 truths and a lie. I'm going to tell 2 truths and 1 lie. And Ace here has to guess which one is a lie. Let's see here. So first thing is I have an innie and an outie. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about a belly button here. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
Okay.
And then the third thing is I am a news anchor and reporter.
Oh, wow, that was a good one. I'm going to have to go with the siblings factor.
You think that's the lie?
Well, any outie could be a lot too, but...
You didn't even take a long time to think about it, actually.
I know you're an anchor, so that's out the question. I'm going to go with the siblings.
The siblings is a lie. Yeah. Okay, so to reveal it here, a little drum roll. So the lie is that I have 2 sisters. I actually have 5 sisters and 1 brother. They're all half siblings, but siblings nonetheless. I love them. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, obviously I'm a news anchor and reporter, but also I have an innie and outie. So it's not 2 separate belly buttons, but they look like an innie and outie.
I've seen one of those before, actually, so I get it.
Really? Yeah. Okay, so it's not outlandish. I made it easy. Okay, so it's your turn.
All right, 2 truths and a lie. I'm the youngest out of 3 boys. Let me see what else. I'm single, and I play college football.
Play or played? Like past tense, or you can play right now?
Played.
Played.
Well, I think I did. I think I told 2 lies and 1 truth.
Oh, Lord. Okay. You told 2 truths?
2 truths and 1 lie. It's 2 truths and a lie. I think I told 2 truths.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure?
I think so. The first thing is I'm the oldest out of 3 boys. I'm single, and then the last one was I forgot already.
The football.
Yeah, I play college football.
Okay, so I think the lie is college football because it took you too long to think about that.
Right.
Nobody forgets their college football experience if it was a good run, at least.
Okay, you got me.
Okay.
That's a good icebreaker.
Okay, cool. So you have brothers. What is your sibling?
I'm the oldest out of 3 boys.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you like that?
Yeah, a lot of responsibility.
You still feel like you're being big brother now?
To this day.
I mean, that's how it should be if you're,
Just keep wrist tatted on me.
Cool. What are their names?
I'm Anthony, Antonio, and then we have a baby boy. His name is LJ.
Oh, okay. Well, we both have a little bit of sibling history there, so that's cool. And you're single and looking?
Ooh. Focus. We're locked in.
Well, good for them to know. Either way, thanks for doing our icebreaker today. So let's dive into the nitty gritty here. You're from Muskegon, Michigan. Muskegon.
That is crazy.
I said it right the first time. Muskegon, Michigan. I'm hearing that that's the shoreline city. Is that true?
It's around the Great Lakes, so like the beach is like a 10-minute drive where I was from.
Okay. Yeah. And so, what was it like growing up there?
I would say every weekend we met there. We had just a lot of fun as high schoolers growing up in Muskegon. Moon Elementary, I went to Bunker Middle School. I went to Muskegon High. Played sports all my life. I was a pastor's kid growing up in Muskegon, Michigan, too, where my dad and mom took the church over. My papa and big mama passed that down to them, so I just kind of grew up. So yeah, it's a long story. I mean, we can get deeper as we go into the podcast, but yeah, it's pretty good growing up.
I've never been to Michigan, so you have to tell me, like, if I ever do go, what's one of the first places I need to visit?
If you want to eat, I would say you want to just chill, get a nice scenery, the beach for sure. A lot of sand dunes. If you want to eat good, Station Grill wings are the best wings in the town. Little home kept secret, or the chicken coop.
The chicken coop.
Yeah, if you want some good food,
okay.
I'll say either of those.
Is that soul food or?
Just chicken. Just great chicken.
Great chicken. We're in the South, so I've had some great chicken. Okay.
Station Grill and chicken coop.
I'll add that to my list. So how did you make that transition from Muskegon, Michigan, all the way to the DFW? What was that like?
I made the transition when I went to the Army. So right after high school, graduated in 2016. And I flew right out. I think I graduated in May. And I went to the Army in July. Like 60 days later, and I was gone. All my friends, all my family.
That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, as an 18-year-old man, just trying to figure life out. And then I got stationed in Michigan, and actually transferred down here to DFW when I moved here. So that's how I ended up here. Was in the military.
Wow. And so you're saying so you're not in the military anymore?
I just did my 4-year contract, and I am out.
Are you happy about that?
I am ecstatic.
Well, during that time, thank you for your service. Your 4 years, 4 years, 4 months is still service. I know that's a job in itself. Kind of what was like the biggest thing that you learned, like, making that transition from being in the military and then being civilian again?
Just discipline. A lot of young men miss that. They don't have the right role models growing up. Discipline. I would say even to this day, like I just keep everything just like dress is neat, orderly. Like I think the Army gave me OCD a little bit. Yeah, so I'm just keeping everything neat.
You've adjusted this box like 5 times since you.
I have a lot of friends to this day from the Army as well. I would say just around the world. So a lot of experiences, a lot of relationships that were built. I wouldn't do it over, but it was definitely a great experience.
Awesome. Well, you don't sound like a recruiter, but you didn't talk trash about the Army. So
no, I would say if anybody's having a hard time figuring out what they want to do in life, 4-year contract with the government isn't a bad idea. Just get some structure in your life.
Awesome. So tell me about, being Mr. Ace paid. Where did that come from? Like, how did you even, where'd you pull Ace from? It's not Deuce or anything else. It's Ace, which means number one. And that's a title in itself to hold, to call yourself number one.
It started off as a joke and I ran with it. If you ever seen the movie Paid in Full, the guy that plays Ace in that movie, they said I look like him in like middle school, high school. So I watched the movie. I love the origin story and I stuck with it. So that
means you're going to share some middle school pictures with us.
Hopefully not.
No?
Hopefully not.
So, and a lot.
My head a little bit.
That's good. I feel like, a lot of nicknames kind of derive from, childhood experiences and, some aunties just kind of give you a nickname that you can never shake. But, being called Ace, like I said, that holds a big title comes with that. And, one of the things that I saw and just looking at your different work is that, you're a number one trusted private jeweler. And I'm sure that didn't come about overnight. Kind of tell me how you got into, the jewelry industry just in general.
Oh, well, started off like around like 2019, like 5-6 years ago now. Just working at a store, and I had a mentor there who we did jewelry together. And I kind of just learned the front end and the back end processes of it. I mean, you can ask around the city as well. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, my business, my business card is pretty legit. It's A+++.
Yeah,
so the Better Business Bureau. So if y'all need some jewelry, Ace the Jeweler on Instagram. But honestly, I just kind of fell in love with it. Jewelry doesn't make or break me. I feel like jewelry is an expression of your artwork. Some people put it on a wall. Some people decide to wear their art. Like I said, it really doesn't make or break me. I just kind of express who I am, and I like making people feel good through jewelry as well. So when they want to pop out for their birthday, take a trip anywhere or anything like that, or even give a small gift to somebody else, I feel like jewelry is like you can't go wrong.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess for some of those people that are like, I don't know what gift to get, do you
Jewelry.
suggest?
It's timeless. You can pass it down for generations if you do it the right way.
That's true. That's true. And just getting to know you, one of the quotes I've heard you say is, I don't feel like I've hit my highest achievement in my industry. I'm always striving for more. What's your mentality behind that? Why do you feel like you haven't, reached your highest achievement?
I mean, shout out to Never Satisfied just for hosting this podcast. I would just say that mentality right there, just never being comfortable or content with where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I say the mentality comes from, because I can always get better. And I feel like if you stop growing before you pass, or you stop growing before you die, then you die before you die. So just never, ever satisfied. You got to keep growing. It's always more to do. It's always more growth to be obtained.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so, kind of what was that transition between, moving here and then I guess coming out of the military and then being at that store? When did you decide you kind of wanted to take things into your own hands and be an entrepreneur?
Mm-hmm. I would say I was working like 9 to 5s, like just trash 9 to 5s back to back. Like
define a trash 9 to 5.
Working at PetSmart was my first job in Texas.
You don't like the doggies?
I love dogs. I love animals. But cleaning fish bowls is not my forte.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. So, what was that like identifying moment where you were like, this is my last shift?
When I walked out and never came back. And then I built a Hobby Lobby out there in McKinney on 380 from ground up. So I was a part of that project as well. So just doing stuff like that. I was just like, it's not really for me. Like I can make a quicker return fast if I work for myself. So.
And so, even just talking about the Hobby Lobby, I didn't know about that. What was that process like? Like, how did you decide, or what integral role did you play in that being built from the ground up?
Oh, well, we did everything as far as like the flooring, the shelving. I was a stock person in the back, a stock manager. So just stock, built furniture, they sell everything in there. Hobby Lobby is really a good store. I like Hobby Lobby, but it's a part of that whole process. So it's kind of cool to see that too, like an actual corporate store build their ground up, and then everybody that worked the store actually got hired on. So when you help build it, you actually got a job right after.
Awesome.
For shift. So it's a pretty good experience. I worked at PetSmart at the same time, working 2 jobs at once, and then I had 3 jobs at once for like 3 months or a small season, and that's when I was at the store, and I let the other 2 go, and I was full time.
3 jobs at once.
Yeah, it was the store, Hobby Lobby, and PetSmart, just like part time.
The jewelry store.
Mm-hmm. Clothing, jewelry, and shoes.
Woo! 3 jobs at once. When do you find the time to sleep? You didn't?
I didn't.
Really?
Because PetSmart, you got to be up there at 6 a.m.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Well, hardworking man for sure. If you can't already tell, guys. I feel like entrepreneurship in itself, though, it's really gaining traction, especially I feel like since 2020 with COVID and everything, everybody was trying to figure out what can I do while sitting at home, can't work, might as well start my own business. So even then, I feel like the traction that entrepreneurship and being your own boss has gained since then is crazy. And it seems to me like it's gaining more traction than a traditional 9 to 5 would. What's your take on that? Do you think that that's a trend, or is that kind of the new norm now? Because I mean, you're so deep into, the entrepreneurship and everything.
I would say entrepreneurship isn't a trend. But I would say like just from a kid growing up, like watching my family pastor the church, that's a business in itself. So kind of, growing up watching those leaders in their own right kind of handle business, I guess it kind of rubbed off on me. And my dad was a community service director too as well, back in Muskegon, Michigan. So now I'm a creative director here at Never Satisfied. I mean, one and the same thing, I would say. So I'm not surprised where I'm at. I just knew one day I would have to just find my true purpose in life, so that way I can kind of just find my outlet and just release my energy that way.
Right.
So I would say like 2020 kind of birthed that entrepreneur in me as well. During COVID, sitting in a house bored, can't work, can't go to the store, can't do anything. Okay, what can I do for myself here? So
just in general, kind of like doing for yourself, do you find that that's ended up helping other people?
Exactly, because it's really not about me at the end of the day.
And why so?
I would say why so is because, like I said at the beginning, making people feel good fills my cup.
And so you're not just doing that through jewelry. You have your hands in a bunch of baskets, like I said. you're also doing that with credit repair. And then, that's another basket that you have your hand in, but I'm sure it's a completely different lane than, being a jeweler. How did you get into that?
Actually, my friend, like another friend tour of mine, called me one day. Was like, man, like I just bought this mentorship worth over a couple of $1,000, and I think we should learn it together and see if it actually works. So we went up there to the office one day, and we watched this mentorship, this boring long course about credit, and kind of just got ourselves familiar with the terms and the lingo and how everything works. And first thing you always want to do is test your own product on yourself. So that's what we did. We fixed our own credit first, and we saw that it worked. And then one day we just like, forget it, man. Let's just have a class next Sunday. And that's what we did. So scary as that might have seemed, just like not really know much about the software, how it works, we seen results. And that's really all that mattered. So we started fixing our own credit, and then we started having a class of 1 or 2 people, and we turned that 2 people class into like a 20-person class. And now we went from one day of just only on Sundays. Now we're doing like every Saturday and Sunday every weekend. And the classes are full. So just helping people fix their life. Some people come in with wanting new cars, new houses, new apartments, wanted to get a loan for XYZ business, and they aren't able to get approved for funding because of their low credit score. So that's when we come in as experts, and we kind of help those guys realize their options.
Mm-hmm.
And the AI software that we're using right now, it works like a charm. So really not even doing anything right now. AI is taking over the world, but like let it be your best friend. We try to leverage it, not let it replace us.
Kind of leaning into it there. Mm-hmm. Awesome. We're doing that in the news industry too. We're just like, it's not going anywhere, so you might as well make it work for you instead of against you. But just talking about that, or I guess that friend, and that kind of pulled you in to the mix of the mentorship classes. What is that? Are those classes that are still offered right now? Can anybody tap into this, or
it's kind of exclusive, and it is a waitlist. It's like 1,000-person waitlist.
Really?
But we do have one-on-ones during the week. But outside of the class itself, yeah, it's like almost 1,000 people just like wanting to get in. And the courses start at like $1,000. So, but I feel like we also help people fix their credit within the class. Not only that, we actually give away the tools and resources so they can walk away and fix their own families and friends' credit as well. So now, not limited just to us fixing their credit. They actually have the resources to go change their life and their friends' lives and families' lives as well.
Awesome, and kind of pushing that initiative forward that you have of just wanting to help everybody else.
At the end of the day,
awesome.
Just serving.
And so we're kind of just touching lightly on the jury and the credit repair and just entrepreneurship as a whole. Kind of tell me what once you finally made that transition out of 3 9-to-5s almost, what does it take to be a successful entrepreneur? Somebody that's just starting out and a young and up and coming, young boss, basically. Mm-hmm. What do they need? What are some qualities that they need to be able to succeed?
Number one thing you need is a why. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing. I just read this book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Finished that a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of changed my perspective on a lot. I thought I knew what I was doing, why I was doing it, but I really did it at the core base. He gave a lot of key examples in that book about like how Apple and Steve Jobs and all these guys started, and Bill Gates, and how they started Microsoft and everything like that. And how actually the one key example he had in there was on Sam Walton. Like Walmart is actually today trying to rebrand themselves because they lost their why along the way when he passed away. So they started off as a service-based company, and it's actually one of the biggest chain stores in the world. But now they have a lot of competition with Target and other stores like that. But just like if you lose your why, you lose everything. So I say you need that for sure. Discipline, you need structure. And these are all things I struggle with on the day-to-day as an entrepreneur, like getting sidetracked and being everywhere and moving Mach 9, just trying to slow everything down and just,
So you don't just need those things to start off as an entrepreneur, but also to maintain.
Yes, organization. You need to be organized as well because it can get hectic.
You really pulling that from the Army experience.
That too, but it also has to be a priority with everything too. Everything needs to have a place.
That's true. So we got, being organized and having discipline, and then finding your why. Kind of explain, what was your why then, and has it changed over time?
My why at first when I got started was just finish what my mama taught me. So that's probably my biggest why. She was a teacher for 10 years. My dad was a leader. So when she passed away in 2015, I kind of like took that. I wanted to run with it. So making her happy is one of my biggest whys. Being a great example as the biggest brother for my little brother is one of my biggest whys. So all of those things get me out of bed every day.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And I was going to ask you that too. I was going to be like, so on a rough day, like how do you get out of bed? And that's kind of family that pulls you up.
Yep, 7 days a week.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. I don't know. I definitely, I think I have that on my, if anybody looks at my LinkedIn, I got to knock some dust off of it. But I think in one of my bios, I have, my why is just kind of never being done learning. And I think never being done learning kind of helps me do what I do on a day to day. And even with this, like, I'm learning everything that you're talking about right now. I have a lot of background info, but, everybody's an expert in something. And so that's why, I really love Raw Industry Podcast, because we're really creating a platform for people to come on and talk about, how they're an expert in their own right. You don't have to be at the Beyonce's and Jay-Z's level to talk about, how you're making a difference.
Exactly. Like success isn't defined by a monetary value.
Definitely. But talking about monetary value, when I was looking at my outfit this morning, I was like, I'm going to be sitting next to Ace, the jeweler. So I can't complain. So I tried to bedazzle a little bit. Y'all see my extra on the side. Now, don't bring no diamond tester near me, please. But I'm blingy. I tried to match the fly. Yeah. I got my watch on.
I'm playing, by the way, to the outside world. We didn't try to coordinate this.
We didn't coordinate this, but I think, it worked out really well. So tell me what it means to be iced by Ace. I think that's a phrase you came up with. I've seen that on socials a couple times.
Slogan,
it sure is. What does that mean?
I have a couple of different slogans, trying to see which one fits.
I like iced by Ace. It kind of has a ring to it. Mm-hmm. But, what does that mean? What does it mean by be iced out by Ace?
I'm just going to take care of you. I'm going to let you know what you're purchasing. All kind of stuff out there. The jewelry game industry is a dirty game.
Really?
It's a dirty game.
Well, this is for Raw and Uncut now, so spill.
It's a dirty game. They've been doing it for dozens and dozens and dozens of years. But what I've learned over the time is that's just different, I would say, aspects when it comes to jewelry. As far as the diamond grade level, the cut, the color, the clarity, the material you buy, which what the diamonds are set in, which is in metal. So you can go silver, white, gold, of course. But jewelers out here have been lying to their clients for decades, and I've come here to expose the truth. Now,
have you seen this in action?
Unfortunately, so.
Has it happened to you personally?
No, it hasn't happened to me.
Okay, so they can't get you.
No, they can't get me.
Okay.
But I do want to be transparent with my clients, and I work with all budgets, so I really don't shy anybody away from working with me. You have a $200 budget or a $20,000 budget, doesn't matter. I can try to make something happen for you.
Awesome.
That's what it means to be iced by Ace.
Well, you heard it here first. If you ain't already been a client, if you're getting iced by Ace, you're not getting played, is what it sounds like. So, you talk about the different cuts and the clarity and everything, and I know you brought some examples in-house today here at the studio. Can you talk to me about, when you're approaching a client or when a client approaches you, what does that exchange look like? I know you said you're not, shying people away that have a different budget.
Yeah.
So kind of what do you offer them? Is it kind of based off of what they're looking for? Do you try and upsell them? Do you try, what's the exchange like?
No, that's good. I always try to figure out what's people's vision. What do they want? What do you want to make? What's the memorable? When people come to design jewelry with me, it's not about the money for me. I'm not looking for the dollar or trying to close the sale extra fast. I want to make sure this person understands what they're purchasing. How can we make this work within your budget so you don't break the bank? And then also within that, how can we have fun with this project? How can we both have our hands involved? So it's not just, I'm not making all the executive decisions with your piece. I want you to like it. Because if you don't like it, I don't like it.
Got it.
Essentially. So I did bring a couple examples with me, but yeah, I can kind of show you some stuff right here.
Yeah, definitely.
If you don't mind, I pull out this little tray. I didn't bring a lot, unfortunately, because problem trying to tote jewelry around everywhere all day.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not the safest.
It's not the funnest, but I don't know. What we got here? We got some bracelets right here. Cuban bracelets.
Well, that's nice.
Got some Gucci.
I'm just a girl, so I like everything that shines.
Got the chrome hard style bracelets. Actually hand done. I made that for a client, which is already sold. This one is already sold as well. I made two different colors. We got some tennis necklaces with a couple of charms on them. Just some sample pieces.
Right. And we'll get y'all some close-ups here shortly. And y'all have, okay, so this is rose gold?
Rose gold.
And this is,
jewelry.
I'm trying.
I can't get over
you. I mean, look at me. Don't you think I know it?
So that's just a couple of things right there. Are the cut and color and clarity. It is DVS, so on the diamonds right there. 18 karat rose gold plated right here. Not so far silver right here. So this is actually a watch right here. Cartier Center. Check that one out. So just a couple pieces today.
Has a good weight to it too. So kind of tell me about these right here. What would the client per se be asking for, and this would satisfy their need?
Oh, this would satisfy their need. It's just I would say right here, I typically start these off around like 1,000 and go up. Like I said, it depends on the quality of jewelry that you want.
Right.
You can use 14 karat gold, 10 karat gold, 18 karat gold. You can use 925 silver. You can use lab diamonds, which is the hottest thing right now within the jewelry industry.
Lab diamonds.
Moissanite and lab diamonds are taking over the jewelry industry right now. And that's what I say about like the dirty side of the industry. People pay for natural diamonds, which is okay to have as well. But, you know, the jewelers, right, they might put a less diamond in your jewelry that you paid for.
I see.
Because it all looks the same to the natural eye.
Right.
They all do the same thing under the light. So essentially that's what I'm talking about. But yeah.
Awesome. And so kind of walk me through, just for a viewer's sake, you know, that is looking to purchase, if they come in and they say, you know, I have a $500 budget, I want rose gold and lab diamonds are the most expensive, I'm assuming.
Natural ones, yeah. Natural earth mine diamonds take billions of years to form under pressure and stuff like that. Well, lab diamonds are just sped up. They do the same thing natural diamonds do. They just make them in the lab and they speed the process up by like months.
And so you're upfront about having lab diamonds, and then some jewelers
are not.
And they'll say that they are
natural when they really are CZs.
What do you think? What's the finesse about, though? What do you think about that? Like, why do you think
the wholesale versus the retail market? That's the finesse about it. So if the piece costs me X amount of money to make and I sell it for triple the amount, but I really only spent X, like, you know, just profit margins for business. I would say, yeah, just to keep it short and simple.
Got it. Well, tisk on them, but these are beautiful. You know, we showed you some close-up shots here, and then you also have some necklaces over here. Can you tell me about those?
So these right here are the tennis necklace style chains. Pretty popular right now. They don't come crushed up like the typical Cuban diamonds, where they come actually whole diamonds.
Right.
So these are pointers. Right here, I have about like 0.25 carats here. I don't have any 4 millimeters on, but going up to 50 pointers and 60 pointers. Some people rock the big stones, but this is just something chill, late night, drink with your friends, want to look good with an open collar shirt, something like that. Throw a piece on, keep it simple.
Nice. Not you sounding like a stylist as well.
I am a fashion stylist. That's my Batman hobby. Like,
really awesome. And so these are pendants, right?
Yeah. So what's hanging from the necklace is a pendant or a charm, whatever you want to call it. And I do custom pendants right now, and it's like going crazy right now. I'm getting like constant DMs. Awesome.
And so tell me about these pendants. This is where your creativity gets to come in, right? Yeah. You design all of these on your own, or were these pre-ordered?
Yeah, they design these right here. So this is what you see right here, the double layer 3D mode. This is the chrome heart cross style as well, with the baguette diamonds inside of it. And then triple cross right here as well, with the baguettes in it. So
awesome.
Yeah, you can't get these anywhere.
Right. And then I saw you also have some watches there. Can you tell me about the watches?
So we just have a couple ones that I like to show off. Got the AP. This is rose gold as well. Got the Cartier, which I had just showed you, but this is one of my favorites. It's a skeleton. You kind of see inside the timepiece.
Oh, awesome. This is so detailed, you guys. Like, I mean, there's layers to this, literally. That's amazing. Yeah, it's really beautiful. And so you have products for both men and women.
I do. I want to get into the fine jewelry as well, just like the Yearman and like the higher end style jewelry with the Van Cleef, stuff like that. I would like to have my own design eventually.
Awesome. So just breaking into the jewelry industry, you know, aside from, you know, having to obviously study and know the differences between the clarity and the cuts and different things like that, you know, what would it take where should somebody start, you know, with that?
I would say don't break the bank. If you want to start with just getting some basic jewelry, a nice bracelet is always something to go to. It's not doing too much. It's light. I would say a nice margarita necklace on the neck with a simple heart for the ladies, or a nice cross for the men, just to keep it simple.
Got it. And so, you know, as a jeweler, they should be buying their own products from somewhere, and then thus kind of building up that stock and then selling it to
others. So if you're interested in like learning how to be a jeweler out there, you can DM me at Acer Jeweler on Instagram. We'll be selling mentorship courses on how to be a jeweler pretty soon.
Awesome. Mentorship courses on being a jeweler. And then also, I know you said there's a long waiting list for that credit repair mentorship. But if they come to you, you know, that's a way to fix their own credit and then also learn and help their friends and family.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So just kind of pivoting here, please leave this here. I'm enjoying the site. You know, there's so many different, like I said, baskets that you have your hands in, and a lot of people, may think that, oh, well, I need a degree to break into this industry, or I need to take X amount of, classes or go to trade school to break into various industries. What type of role did education play in where you're at right now in life?
Hardly any. Like I feel like a lot of my education that I have today in life came from my mom. Like she's a teacher, she taught for 10 years, and she taught elementary, grade school. Um, they call it Head Start where I'm from. I don't know if you guys have. Okay,
I've heard of that.
Head Start, yeah. So that's where a lot of my education comes from. I went to college for I say a year at Ferris State University, and taught me nothing about
which university?
Ferris State University in Michigan.
Okay, what was the mascot?
Bulldog.
Go Bulldogs. Mm-hmm. Not for you.
It was cool, great experience, had a lot of fun. I had my friends, we partied a lot, but I was being taught how to build somebody else's business and not mine.
Got it. Mm-hmm. And what did you go for? What was the major?
Business management.
Business management. So when did you decide to leave, and was that a hard decision?
No, it wasn't a hard decision. I just knew it wasn't really for me. I really used my Army, GA and TA money to help me out with the loans, but other than that, I mean, it was a good experience, like I said, but if you really want to be an entrepreneur, I really feel like you don't need a piece of paper to help you be that.
It's more here.
Exactly.
In the brains and everything. Awesome. Well, that makes sense. That's definitely not everybody's track. And, exactly. I can't stress that enough.
Exactly.
Everybody doesn't have to graduate from college or get a master's, to be your own boss, CEO, CFO, all the C's and O's, exactly. Not the rest of the letters. It's really about the mentality. And I think you possess a lot of those traits, like you said, even though you're still working
on it. But no knock to anybody that is going to college. We need doctors, we need lawyers.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I would rather you have the paper if you're doing some brain surgery, please.
Okay.
that type of thing. So let's just talk about goals in general. What is it like as a CEO, kind of setting your own goals? Because you're your own employee, you're your own boss. You can mess up the business, you can make the business better. It's kind of all on you. Mm-hmm. So how do you set those goals? I know you were saying that, you kind of would like to be the top 10 or even top 2%. But, how will you know that you've gotten there with so many different things going on?
Full transparency, like goals get pushed to the next day, like all the time. So, like just from my mentors, kind of when I was knocking doors for solar for a year and a half, like they just kind of told me like you need to have goals in front of you, and it's okay to put scary goals in front of you because if you don't, you will never achieve them. Like say if I want to get, I'll say 10 sales in a month, 10 new custom jewelry sales, or versus I want to get 50. If I hit 25 or 30, will I be mad because I set a higher goal? But if I say I only want to get 5 sales and I only get 5 sales, I cap myself. It's because I believe that was my true worth when I'm worth much more than that. So the goals are very important.
That makes sense. And so kind of just walk me through, what were your goals with credit repair and with being a jeweler versus what they are now?
Mm-hmm. Coming into the game, I really didn't know or have any goals per se, I would say. Right now, I would say as I go home and I kind of just study like my craft and my industry, my goals, we open up a new store pretty soon. So my goals are to expand, like get a physical location because I'm fully independent right now. So partner up with some of my business partners. We're going to get a full location pretty soon and kind of expand the business from that. And then my goals of credit repair is just to keep the private office running, keep people happy, keep people learning about credit. And then my affiliate network marketing business I would say my goals with that is just to build like a big organization, a team, and just duplicate myself to those people. I think that's all I'm really missing right now, but yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And so reaching that top 10 or 2%, what do you think that'll look like? Will that be kind of training other entrepreneurs?
Time, energy, and resources. It takes time. 26. I'm not in a rush, but I know eventually I will get there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're still very young, exactly. Like the rest of us. So doing a great job though so far. So kind of talk to me about, credit repair in general. I feel like some people are maybe a little prideful when it comes to asking for help, and that's in anything. Mm-hmm. But with credit, that's kind of more important than almost how much money you have in your bank account. So, why is it okay to kind of ask for help?
Mm-hmm. I would say if you ask, you shall receive. That's my favorite quote. So, really? I don't know. You just have to get that pride out the way. Like, I'm really afraid to ask for a hand up. I never will ask for a hand out. I don't expect anybody to do anything for me, but I feel like everybody needs some type of mentor or guidance in life. Like, why is it that in high school we had coaches and teachers, but when people graduate high school or college, they don't think they need a coach or a teacher in their real life, but you had it all your life in sports and academics.
Right.
So it doesn't really change. You
That's
just
a good
need
way of looking at things. Yeah. Awesome. And, just working with those different, up to 20 people in your classes, what type of feedback have you gotten from them that, kind of are seeing a change in their credit?
I mean, we've seen clients just get, I would say we had one of my favorite stories in my class right now. We had a client points go like 102 points, 103 points, and like within like 2 weeks with the AI software we use. So we went from like a 6 something to like a 7 something within like a matter of weeks. That's how strong this AI software is. So like seeing those testimonies in there lets me know I'm doing a good service.
Awesome. So tell me, how is this, and this is just from my knowledge, how is this different than, like a Credit Karma or something like that?
That's a good question. People really understand. I keep trying to tell people like Credit Karma is cool, but it's not accurate. So we use like different metrics to pull from all 3 credit bureaus across the board.
So the commercials are not necessary?
Like I said, I think they pull from 2 out of 3 credit bureaus, not all 3. Okay. So we use my free score now for that. But pulling from all 3 credit bureaus, people don't understand walking into a car lot or get even insurance. When you have car insurance, if your credit is bad, it affects how high your quote would be. And people don't really know that like credit goes into a lot. It affects a lot. Like if we said we had the same car same year, my car note can be $300, but yours can be $500 based off our credit.
Ooh, Lord!
Same car,
$500,
same mileage
a month. My chest.
For the same car.
Right. And so, it sounds like you're getting some really good feedback from those that have kind of reached out for help. And awesome.
So people have came and they've come back. So we have classes where they can actually come back because it might take more than a round. It might take 2 or 3 rounds. And legally, the credit bureaus have more than 30 days. Have about 30 to 35 days to investigate your profile and make sure what they're looking at is accurate. But we use Metro 2 compliance where we don't use like factual disputing or we don't use consumer law. Basically like trying to see if that's actually you that should be reported. Well, Metro 2 is basically saying, hey, these things don't meet the standard to even be reported. So these must be deleted.
Got it. That sounds really thorough. And so tell me, within these classes, I guess kind of from the point of view of somebody that kind of wants to break into this and be their own credit repairer, boss, what is the hardest part about it all? I'm not a numbers girl. I never have been. Obviously, I write. I can do history all day, but numbers has just never really been my thing. So for someone that's like, I don't know if I can do that on my own, kind of what's your advice to them?
When you say don't do what on my own?
Maybe like just credit repair in general, like, they want to get their own credit right, of course, but as far as trying to help others, kind of like you're doing with the class,
gotcha.
What would be your best words of advice to them?
My advice is, like I said, like, don't be scared of credit. Like, actually make it your friend. And like I said, with the software, you guys have to tap in. Like, it does all of the work for us, types all of the letters for us and everything. So it's really like a good program to use in the software to have. So, and like I said, if you're out there listening right now, just hit me up on Instagram, Mr.Paid, and I can give you guys more information.
Awesome. And some of the I see how you were talking about one of those biggest challenges in the jewelry industry was just kind of some dishonest jewelers out there, apparently. Is that kind of one of those issues that you think people were running into when the trend of the diamond testing was going around?
Literally thinking they had one thing, but being sold another.
What do you think that feels like for a client, though? Like, I already spent thousands and here I am getting trashed in the TikTok comments because my diamond tester is going red,
or not going off at all. But I would say, that's not really fair to the clients. Like, you cannot build a solid foundation or good business without trust. So I feel like my highest selling point is the fact that I can get my clients to trust me. When I say trust me, the dollar amount is no problem.
Got it. And do you have reoccurring clients? Are you seeing that people come once, come twice?
Yeah, people come back 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Like, just, okay, it's what we're doing next. All right, we got an all white set this time. We're gonna do rose gold next time. Awesome. I got all rose gold. We're gonna do all gold this time.
What would a deal look like? Do you have like Valentine's Day, Christmas deals?
Absolutely.
What are those like?
Yeah, I mean, for Christmas, I'm giving out free rope chains with the purchase of a pendant. Valentine's deals, I'm giving out Sweetest Day discounts just for your Valentine's if you get like a set. I got a guy right now I'm talking to. He's getting a his and hers watch for him and his wife as well. So we're gonna be doing that pretty soon. We're gonna do two-tone Cartiers this hotel. So that's gonna be pretty fun. But yeah, awesome. I would say if you want to do like a deal or you want to get like more than one thing, I got you.
Awesome. So deals galore and lots to offer. And so just kind of winding down towards the end here, I wanted to talk about for someone that is tapped into so many industries here in Dallas specifically, what is your competition like? Just in general. Do you find it's kind of hard to make things work here, or because there's a lot of things coming out of Dallas, but a lot of people like to compare us to Houston, and I'll say the food is better in Houston. Stone me if you like. No, I'm from Atlanta, but I think the food is better in Houston. But coming out of Dallas, it's what is the competition like in all of these industries?
I don't really have a competition. I'm competing with myself every day. That would be my answer.
Wait, say that again.
Yeah.
You don't have competition.
No, I don't really have competition. I compete with myself. That's my competition, is to be better than I was yesterday. I'm not from here, so I can care less who's in competition with each other. From Dallas or Houston. Awesome. I'm just here to make myself be great as I can well before I die. So I would say like Dallas is the most friendliest entrepreneurship city I've been to, and I've traveled a lot. But I would say like it's really growing out here. They're bringing a lot of things to the city of Dallas as well. So if it's nothing that, like I would say, if you're not doing anything in Dallas because you simply don't want to, like, but if it's like I said, if it's not for you, a lot of other cities out there that'd be good for people. But I would say I love Dallas, honestly. So
awesome. And so it sounds like Dallas is going to be the home of maybe a new storefront coming soon. But I know you have a lot of other things in the works, and I'm seeing possibly a clothing brand.
Yes, Always Pay Empire. That's where my brand got birthed out of in COVID. I got that from shout out to Young Dolph. Rest in peace, Dolph. I got my brand APE from him. Kind of inspired me, not from him, but inspired me. He was a paper route empire, so I'm Always Pay Empire. So birthday, and it's just really an umbrella. Like I just want to create a hub underneath Always Pay Empire to do different things. So I'm Ace the Jeweler, but my company and I'm developing right now, my website is almost going to be APE Jewelers. My clothing brand will be Always Pay Empire. I want to have a podcast pretty soon too. I love what you guys are doing, a raw industry podcast. Yeah, so I want to start my podcast pretty soon under Always Pay Empire, the umbrella as well, and just kind of branch out from there.
Awesome. And so talk a little bit about like what is that clothing brand going to represent? Is that going to be t-shirts, hoodie sets?
Trying to be different. Like there's a lot of young up and coming entrepreneurs out there that are like killing the game right now. And I could give a couple of shout outs, but I see you guys working on Instagram. Keep doing your guys' thing. You guys inspire me every day, but I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm not here to more so like be the next Louis Vuitton or anything like that. But I do want my brand out there. Just people, you know what I'm saying, that believe in what I believe in, have the same why I have, and I can give that merch out and we can just be on one accord and rocking the same thing.
Awesome. And then, just kind of touching on the podcast too, you want to be in this seat.
I do.
What is the podcast going to be about? What's the idea? Without giving too much away.
Yeah. Coming soon. I got a lot of things in the works, a lot of things in the notes, a lot of goals set out that I want to accomplish. So you definitely guys inspired me today. So I definitely want to start my podcast pretty soon.
Of course.
And have you as my next guest, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're a great guest in general. So you're going to kill it on your own podcast for sure. I don't know why you were nervous. So, we kind of talked about what your future plans are, but of course, if y'all don't know, Raw Industry Podcast is coming out of Never Satisfied Studios, and there's a bunch of, things that you can tap into here as far as connections and relationships go. So, one of my last questions for you is just like, what do you value more, especially as a CEO, entrepreneur in DFW, making those connections or relationships, or is it both? Kind of how.
I mean, you said it right there. Like, what do I value most is the relationships itself. I pride myself on building a genuine connection with people. And I have a lot of discernment, I would say, like I got passed down from my parents. So just surrounding myself around the right environment is always key for me. And if you got the right people around you, it'll be okay. But I definitely feel like everybody should watch who they have around them. Even if you love them or not, everybody is not healthy for you and where you need to go. So I definitely am big on relationships. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And so, I know you've been, around the studio for quite a while now, and, just kind of talk about what type of relationships have you kind of harbored here that have helped you?
Cultivated a lot of relationships here. Shout out to Never Satisfied Production. This multimedia and production studio just kind of helped me have an outlet with who I am as a creative director now here, helping just different departments here just try to produce and just try to obtain, I'll say, different jobs, I would say, just more so like helping the community. Like right now, our Never Satisfied promotion team right now putting on an event, 3v3 basketball tournament pretty soon. And it's going to be a community type job where, we're not in the clubs, we're not popping bottles or anything like that. We're actually giving back to the community, having a good time, listening to music, eating good food, and just playing basketball like we used to do back in high school. So getting that type of energy back out there.
Awesome. Let me find out you can hoop.
They say I'm like Mike for real, but
who is they? Awesome. So before we wrap up here, I just want to make sure we covered all our bases. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
For all those who are listening, I would just say, just like, don't give up on your dreams and your vision. No matter like how many trials and tribulations that come your way, I would just say, like, on the other side of that door, if you push through, you'll thank yourself later. So that's what I would say. But I appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you, you guys. There's doing a lot of hard work behind the scenes that people really don't see that makes this thing happen. But it's definitely going to be, as episode 1 comes to an end, it's definitely going to be a great thing to see this business and this company kind of go crazy. So I'm excited to be a part of it.
Number 1.
Nothing but the best. Yeah, it's going to be crazy when we look back on it a couple years from now. We got to do round 2, maybe round 3 later.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so,
you're stuck now. You're not going anywhere. We really appreciate your time here today. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in to Raw Industry Podcast for the raw and uncut of our first episode. Ace did a great job and we all appreciate him here. I had a great time. But this isn't your last time seeing us together. We plan to tap back in with not only Ace, but every guest here on Raw Industry Podcast, just to make sure we're staying in their business and that they're reaching their goals, and however we and Never Satisfied can help them reach the next level. That's what we plan to do. So that's everything we have. So peace.
All right.
Raw.